Instructor Hankyul stood at the edge of the training hall. His dark eyes watched the new cadets gather. He was tall and thin, with gray skin and eyes like cold steel. He had 300 years of combat experience. Hankyul believed he had seen everything. But today he was sure the Galactic Combat Academy had lost its mind. They were letting a human train with them. He shook his head. Humans were weak, soft creatures from Earth, a dangerous place called a Deathworld. But even if they survived there, how could they fight here? This was the best combat school in the galaxy. The cadets were giants with armor-like skin or creatures who could move faster than a blaster shot. How could a fragile human keep up? Then the doors opened. A small human woman stepped into the hall. Her name was June. She looked around with calm, dark eyes. She stood just over 5 feet tall and looked like a child next to the Chronothi cadets, who were almost 9 feet tall. Her body looked thin, her arms small. Her brown hair was tied back, and she wore simple training clothes. Made of Earth's fabric, the alien cadets stared at June. Minsu, a huge Chronothi with sharp spikes on his shoulders, laughed loudly. "Is that the human?" "She looks like she will break if the wind blows," he roared. His deep voice echoed in the training hall. Su-Benazai-Hiri, with 4 long arms, smirked. "Maybe she is here to clean our rooms," she said, lifting a heavy training weight with one hand to show off her strength. Even Heijin, flex made of shifting crystal, hummed with amusement. His glassy voice rang out. "She does not even have natural armor. How can she survive?" Hankyul crossed his arms. He smiled a cold, thin smile. "This is a mistake," he told himself. "The council thinks letting a human join will make them look kind and open. But this girl will not last a day." But Ji-yoon kept walking. She looked at each alien without fear. There was no shaking in her legs, no fear in her eyes. It's only a calm, steady look like she was measuring them. Hankyul felt a strange chill in his chest. He called the cadets to attention. "Wadehi," said, "we begin combat stance training. Watch me. Learn the proper technique." Hankyul moved into the standard Veltari combat stance. His feet were wide apart for balance. His arms extended, ready to strike. His knees bent low for stability. Every move was perfect, sharp, and powerful. He looked like a statue ready to explode into action. "Now you try," he said. The alien cadets copied him, forming rows of warriors, standing strong. But when Hankyul looked at Ji-yoon, he stopped. She was not copying the stance at all. Ji-yoon stood with her feet closer together. She moved lightly from foot to foot. Her arms hung loose at her sides. She looked like she might fall over. But her eyes stayed focused, watching everything. "Goon," Hankyul barked. "That is not the stance. Fix it now." Goon looked up, her voice calm. "I am adapting it for human movement, sir." "Adapting it?" Hankyul's hands clenched. He felt anger boiling in his chest. How dare this small human change a stance refined over thousands of years? But he held his tongue. He would let her fail in front of everyone. "Very well," he said through gritted teeth. "Pair up, Ju. You will spar with Minsu." Minsu's grin showed sharp teeth. He stepped onto the mat, towering over Ji-yoon. His muscles flexed under his armor-like skin. He looked down at Ji-yoon like she was an insect. The cadets gathered to watch. Some whispered bets on how many seconds Ji-yoon would last. "Begin," Hankyul shouted. Minsu stepped forward with a fast punch aimed at Ji-yoon's chest. His huge fist cut through the air like a falling meteor. Hankyul expected Ji-yoon to cry out or get knocked across the room, but she wasn't there. Ji-yoon twisted sideways. Her feet glided on the mat. She dropped low, her body moving like water. She slipped under Minsu's punch, spun behind him, and tapped his back before he could even turn. Minsu staggered forward, confused. The cadets gasped. Hankyul's mouth fell open. That move was too fast, too smooth. How did a human do that? Minsu roared with anger and turned to attack again. He swung his massive arms in wide arcs, but Ji-yoon kept moving. She bent, ducked, and spun. Each time, she was a blur, avoiding every strike by inches. She tapped Minsu on the shoulder, on the leg, on the back. Each touch would have been a killing blow if this was real combat. Finally, Minsu charged straight at Ji-yoon with a frustrated scream. Goon stepped aside with perfect timing. Minsu's own speed carried him forward, and he crashed face-first into the training mat with a loud thud. The room went silent. June stood calmly, breathing evenly, eyes sharp. Minsu groaned on. The floor Hongil felt his chest tighten. This was impossible. This was wrong. Humans were weak, slow, fragile. But Ji-yoon had just embarrassed. As one of the Academy's strongest cadets with ease. Subin stepped up, her forearms raised. "I will fight her next," she said, her voice serious now. The laughter was gone from her face. Hongil nodded stiffly. "Begin." Subin attacked with a flurry of punches, forearms striking from every direction. But June moved like smoke. She bent backward under one punch, sidestepped another, twisted to avoid the third. Her own strikes came in quick snaps, tapping Subin's joints, forcing her to step back. Subin's face showed frustration. Her strikes grew wild. June's eyes stayed calm. She waited for an opening, then slipped in and tapped Subin's side hard enough to make her stagger. Subin fell to one knee, gasping for air. Hongil's mind raced. This human was not supposed to survive. But she wasn't just surviving, she was winning. Around the training hall, whispers grew louder. Some cadets looked at Ji-yoon with fear, others with new respect. Hongil's pride burned in his chest. He clenched his fists. He knew he had to stop this before the Academy's honor was ruined forever. Hongil's eyes were cold as ice. His jaw was tight. He watched Ji-yoon defeat the strongest cadets again and again. His anger grew with every fight. Each time, Ji-yoon moved too fast. She dodged every attack. She hit with perfect timing. She made the Academy's best warriors look slow and foolish. This cannot go on, Hongil thought. She is a human. She is weak. She must be weak. His pride was hurt. His heart burned with rage. He looked across the training hall. His eyes fell on Junho, the Academy's strongest cadet. Junho was a chronothy like Minsu, but even bigger. He stood almost 9 feet tall. His muscles looked like steel. His arms were thicker than Ji-yoon's entire body. His claws could cut metal. His heavy steps made the floor shake. "Junho!" Hongil shouted. His voice echoed across the silent hall. Every cadet turned to watch. "You will fight Ji-yoon. Full contact. No holding back." Junho stepped forward. His eyes were calm, but there was a hungry smile on his face. Wanted to crush the little human. He wanted to show everyone who was the strongest. June stepped onto the mat. She looked like a child next to Junho's huge frame, but her face was the same as before. Calm, patient, ready. Hongil raised his hand. His voice rang out. "Begin." He charged at Ji-yoon with his head down and fists raised. His speed was shocking for his size. His first punch flew straight at Ji-yoon's head like a comet, but Ji-yoon wasn't there. She rolled under his legs, popping up behind him, her hands. Shot out and tapped the back of his knee. Junho stumbled, almost falling. He turned fast, swinging his huge fist again. June leaned back just enough to let it fly past her nose. She moved so fast, she looked like she was gliding. Junho roared. Again, he struck with both fists, each blow heavy enough to break stone. Goon weaved left, slipped right, ducked low. She was everywhere and nowhere. Her movements were so smooth, it looked like a dance. Hongil's heart pounded. His hands were shaking. This was not possible. This was not real. But it was happening right in front of him. Jun-ho grew angrier. He started swinging wildly. Each missed punch made him slower. June watched him with sharp eyes. She waited. Then, in one perfect moment, she stepped in, jumped onto his back, and wrapped her arms around his neck. Her legs locked around his. Chest like steel ropes, Junho staggered. His claws scratched at Ji-yoon, but she moved her head just out of reach every time. His face turned red. His eyes grew wide. His steps slowed. 10 seconds passed. Junho fell to his knees. 15 seconds. and he fell face first to the mat. His huge body lay still. June slowly stood up. She brushed off her clothes. She leaned down, checked Junho's breathing, and nodded. "He will wake up soon," she said softly. The training hall was silent. Cadets stared with wide eyes. Some looked at June with fear, some with awe. Hankiel felt his anger explode. His pride was gone. His academy was humiliated. He could not let this human win again. He stomped onto the mat, his boots loud in the quiet hall. "What do you think you're doing?" He shouted at Jiyun. His voice shook with rage. "This is a place of honor, not a dirty street fight." Goon looked at him with calm eyes. "I was sparring, sir. I followed the rules." Hankiel's face turned purple with anger. "Best is a mockery. You humiliate my cadets. You humiliate me." His hand moved before he could stop it. He slapped June across the face. The sound of the slap echoed like thunder. For a brief moment, Hankiel felt good. He thought he had finally shown this human her place. Then the world turned upside down. June's eyes flashed. Her hand shot. Out so fast it was a blur. Her fist slammed into Hankiel's jaw with a loud crack. Pain exploded in his head.
Ow.
His vision turned black. He felt himself falling. He hit the mat hard, his ears ringing, his mouth filled with blood. He tasted metal. He tried to speak, but his jaw didn't move right. June stood over him. Her breathing was steady. Her eyes were calm. He bent down and checked his pulse. "You will be okay," she said softly. The cadets stood frozen. No one moved. No one spoke. They had just seen the Academy's greatest instructor defeated by a small human with a single punch. Hankiel lay on the mat staring up at the lights. His mind spun. His pride was shattered. His belief in his own strength was gone. Understood now. Earth's Deathworld humans were not weak. They were not slow. They were not fragile. They were strong in ways no one had ever imagined. Around the hall, the alien cadets began to look at Jiyun with new respect. Some even bowed their heads. They knew they were seeing something special. June looked around the hall. Her eyes were kind, but firm. "I do not want to hurt anyone," she said in a clear voice. "I only want to train. I only want to learn." The silence broke as some cadets started to clap. It was slow at first, but soon the sound grew louder. Even Su-Ben, with her 4 arms, joined the applause. Hankiel closed his eyes. He accepted his defeat.
Right.
He realized that June was not here to destroy the Academy's honor. She was here to show them a new way to fight, to adapt, to grow. From that day on, the Galactic Combat Academy was never the same. Yuen's lessons changed every cadet and every instructor. Her calm strength and fearless heart taught them that being small did not mean being weak, and being different did not mean being wrong.